Hello there everyone, and this is Resident Weavile, and today I've got a tabletop RPG video for you on a very special product here. This is from Chaosium, the Call of Cthulhu 40th Anniversary Classic Edition box. So what is this exactly? This is the first edition box of Call of Cthulhu that they've re-released for the anniversary of the game, and there's a lot of cool stuff in here. There's two versions of it. There is a $40 version, which comes with the box set that the game originally came out in. So you get the box, you get the rules for the first edition of Call of Cthulhu, and you get the supplements that came with it, like the screen, the little silhouette cutouts, and some other stuff. And the version that I got, that I have here, that I'm going to go over for you today, is the special enhanced version of it. It costs $120, and it comes with a couple of other things that they released for earlier Call of Cthulhu. You get 5, I believe, different booklets of past adventures that they printed back then. Like I think the Asylum and Other Tales is one of them. So you get a lot of good stuff in this, a lot of really cool stuff. So I'm gonna open it up, show you. I've already went through this before, but I'm gonna just show you what they look like, give you my thoughts on it, and yeah. So you may have noticed I have a from Chaosium here. I have a Call of Cthulhu shirt that is looks just like the box art of the original game here. So I thought I'd wear it for this video. So yeah, here you go. The original box, the original art. It's quite big. The $40 version that doesn't have all the extra stuff, I believe, is thinner than this. I think they listed as the 1-inch version, and this is the 2-inch version because they need all the extra room to fit some extra stuff. There's also some dice in here, some special dice for the anniversary set that I'll show you as well. So you got that. You have the cool back that lists everything you got in here. It has a little description, and then yeah, here's the other things that you get along with it. You get the Shadows of Yog-Sothoth campaign, one of the original full-length campaigns for Call of Cthulhu, so that's really cool. You get the Asylum and Other Tales, as I mentioned. You get a Cthulhu companion, which has some scenarios and has some extra rules in it. You get Trails of Sithagwa. It's a mini campaign, so it's another campaign book. Also a really nice addition. And you get Fragments of Fear, which it's basically like another rule supplement. It says it has one scenario in it. I flipped through everything, so I know a little bit of what's in here, but I'm going to go over it a little bit in depth. And here we go, opening the box here. And I gotta say, I'm going to note this right now. For how much it is, especially for the enhanced version I got, that's $120, they packaged this thing like crazy. They did not want this thing to get damaged, that's for sure. It was in a box with paper padding on the top and bottom, and they put that box inside of another box stuffed with paper padding. A little bit overkill if you ask me, but this box is in like perfect condition. There's nothing wrong with this thing. So I would not worry if you get this about the box getting crushed or damaged in shipping or anything like that. So it should look very nice for you to display and keep with the rest of your stuff. So I kept everything in order after I went through it. So you get a little paper, sort of like you get in a lot of the starter set for the current 7th edition. It tells you what's inside, so that's pretty nice. And then what you get next, you get character sheets for 1st edition Call of Cthulhu. So they look very similar to the current 7th edition. Those of you familiar with Call of Cthulhu will know that the rules haven't changed very much because it uses the basic role-playing rules, and only the 7th edition changed a lot of things, and even then it's very similar and it's very easy to convert between the old editions. Pretty much you just multiply physical stats by 5, and that's kind of all it. That's the big thing. There's some other things, but that's the big thing. So if you, like me, play 7th edition Call of Cthulhu and you want this as a sort of just cool collectible, you can still use everything in here. You can use all of these old adventures and scenarios. You just got to do a little bit of conversion and you're good to go. Also, from flipping through it, they're pretty short, so they're not going to take very long to get through it all. So we got the character sheets there, and here's the big one here. this is the rule book. Like the original box set, it wasn't like a hardcover book or anything like that. It was a booklet in the box set. And this is quite short, much shorter than you'd think it is. It's only about 90 pages or so, I think. Yeah, just a little over 90 pages. 96 at the very end. But this is very nice. Has a sort of like waxy, like thin cardboard, the booklets. It's stapled along the side, and it doesn't cover up anything in the middle, so don't worry about that. You can clearly see everything inside with the way it's been stapled, so that's very nice. It feels very nice quality. The paper's very good, and it's as far as I can tell, it's laid out just like the original one. So you get the introduction and then all the other chapters with the rules and all that. It's very cool to look through here, see what Call of Cthulhu was originally like, how it started out. And as I said, you'll be surprised how similar it is to the current version. If you don't currently play Call of Cthulhu, you're watching this video and you get interested in it, I definitely recommend playing. It's my favorite tabletop RPG game. I'm the game master for my group called The Keeper. And I got into it by playing 7th edition. That's definitely what I recommend. They have some free quick start rules on the Chaosium website to get into playing. But this, if somehow you end up getting this, you can definitely play Call of Cthulhu with just this. It's not going to be as in-depth, but it's still going to be a great experience. And if you get the enhanced version, you can play all these scenarios like this too, which is pretty cool. So you get all the original information, how the rules work, skill rules. You get some monster and god information for stats and that sort of thing. And I think the really cool thing in here is when you get to the back, there's the scenarios that the game originally came with. There's actually multiple in here, but the first one in here is the classic haunting scenario that is in the current 7th edition quick start rules. It was in every edition's rule book, I believe, as a introductory scenario, and it's in here too. But what I think is kind of cool is that it's not called the haunting, it's just called the haunted house. Which is kind of funny that they eventually decided to give it a new name that isn't so generic sounding as just the haunted house. But this is the same scenario. It is much shorter, but they're also using the same map in 7th edition as they are here for the house, which I also think is kind of funny. But hey, it works. And yeah, you get everything in here. It only takes about it's only like a couple pages, I believe. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that's it. 4 pages for the haunting, and that's it's got pretty much everything in here, which is kind of cool if you ask me. I do believe there's some extra or different things in here. Oh no, that's not it. It ends right here, so it's not even 4 pages. It's about 3 pages, and then there's immediately another scenario on here that's only 2 pages. So you get like about 4 or 5 scenarios in this booklet alone. Really short, easy to read through. Just a lot for keepers to do with just this. So that's the rule booklet. That's really cool. So then it also came with this source book about the 1920s. There's a section like this in the current 7th edition rules. It has its own section in the book about just the 1920s in general and how to role play in the time period and that sort of thing. So this has a lot of information about like people that are around at the time. There's some stuff about new skills, which is pretty good because the book doesn't really have a lot of information on a lot of skills. This gives you a lot more. And there's also some travel information, just like the 7th edition book has a section on travel information. Also has a bunch of new weapons. So this is a really cool little book if you want to play some 1st edition with this box set here. So that's really cool there. And you get this nice map of a Zeppelin as the front and back cover. So that's really cool that it looks like that. I like that. Now here we go. Here are the extra things. At the bottom, there's some other things that comes with the normal box set that came in the original version, like the keeper screen and the little silhouette cutouts that you can use. But now in this version, we're gonna get to all of the reprinted booklets. So right here we got Shadows of Yog-Sothoth. Just like a rules booklet, it has that very nice, like, waxy, like, thin cardboard-like paper stapled along the side so it doesn't get in the way of anything. And this is really great. You get the entire campaign here in this booklet. It's not very long, so if you want to run Shadows of Yog-Sothoth, I don't believe that this has been printed for 7th edition yet. I know that Horror on the Orient Express, which I have run, has been reprinted, and Masks of Nyarlathotep has also been reprinted, I think. Both of them have their own box sets. This one I don't think has been reprinted, so if you want a copy of this, I think you can still get it online in PDF or like printed booklets like this. But if you want a nice version straight from Chaosium and you're interested in this box set, well, there you go, you got it right here. So that's really cool, a whole campaign for early Call of Cthulhu there. Here's one I think a lot of people are going to be really interested in, The Asylum and Other Tales. It's just a scenario collection. And this one has some classics in here. First one, you have The Auction. So for those of you who don't know, The Auction is a really fun, interesting little old scenario where the players have to travel to Austria to go to an auction, and there's this standard intrigue, murder, investigation, some weird stuff going on. So that's great. So you have The Auction. You have Black Devil Mountain in here. You have The Asylum, as it is said, which in itself is kind of like a little campaign because of how long it is. It's going to take multiple sessions. And in total, you have 7 different scenarios in here. So this booklet here is chock full of stuff for you to do with your players if you want to play some old Call of Cthulhu scenarios. And like I said, if you play 7th edition, really easy to convert all of this stuff. So go right ahead. I think this is also online as well, but again, if you want the deluxe box set here, you get a really nice printed copy of it. Alright, Cthulhu Companion. Again, this is another sort of like source book with some scenarios in it. So you get some new rule additions. So as it says here in the content section, you get some new stuff about insanity. You get more deities and monsters included in here. And scenarios, like, there you go, Paper Chase. That's in the current 7th edition starter set, I believe. Also a really classic introductory scenario, so you get that in here. You get some other ones like Secret of Castronegro. A lot of these, YouTuber Seth Skorkowski, he's the one that actually got me into Call of Cthulhu. Thank you, Seth, for your great videos. He's reviewed a lot of these, so I have some information about these already, and I think it's so cool that I have a physical booklet with these in it if I ever want to run my players through it. Definitely going to run The Asylum at some point, I think. And you get some other cool little things in here. There's a sanity quiz and how to make a death scene, I think that's what it is in here. So really cool booklet for some more rules and a couple of awesome scenarios. Trail of Tsathoggua. This is the like disjointed mini campaign. Yep, there's some scenarios that you can kind of string together and make a mini campaign out of it. So that's really cool as well. So if you don't want to run through something longer like Shadows of Yog-Sothoth, this might be a way to go. I don't know much about this one, but I'll definitely look into it a bit more. So again, booklet is really nice. Excellent addition here. Second Call of Cthulhu companion, Fragments of Fear. So again, has some rules additions. There's some there's some little excerpts on enemies in here. Always nice to have some more enemies in here. There's an animal section. If you have looked in the Call of Cthulhu Keeper's book for 7th edition, in the enemies guide with all of the stat blocks, there's some on animals like bears, wolves, that sort of thing. You get some of that in here, which is really nice for early editions of Call of Cthulhu. And it has some more spells by the looks of it. That's great. Adding more spells for your players to use. You get a little bit of information on like rituals in here. And yeah, nice little companion book. Not much in this one, but just a nice little rule supplement for early Call of Cthulhu editions. Now, here's some of the other cool stuff that aren't those extras you get the deluxe version. So this is the Keeper's screen right here. I have to say that this is I don't remember if the original came with this like paper screen. I imagine it probably did for the first edition box set. So it's nice that they decided to stay true to it and make it paper, but I wouldn't use this if you were going to play early Call of Cthulhu, which is a bit unfortunate because it does have all of the quick information in here you might need for some things that are different from 7th edition. I would just use the 7th edition screen if you have it. That's not a great screen either because it's only 3-panel and it's kind of short. But if that's all you have and that's what you're going to use, and you want to play this to play early 1st edition Call of Cthulhu, I would just put this inside of the 7th edition screen, and that way you have all the information there, but you have the harder cardboard screen to use. So I gotta say that is a little bit of a disappointment, but I understand why this is just a paper screen. Here's a little map here of the world and a bunch of cities on it. I don't want to unfold the whole thing right here, but yeah, it's the world map. It has cities listed on it, and the other side is a big old map of Arkham. That's really nice, actually, because if your game, like a lot of people's, is set in Arkham, where you go to Arkham a lot, this is so big you could just unfold the whole thing and just put it on the table and use this as the map. So you could just have the players put their little minis if you're using minis, or if you're, I don't know, just using dice because you don't have minis or whatever. Just put them, oh, you guys are here, and that sort of thing. They can look at all the streets and everything. So I think this is excellent, even if you're playing 7th edition Call of Cthulhu. You do have maps that come with 7th edition Call of Cthulhu, but you don't have anything this big as a fold-out map to use. So I think this is really great to use even if you play 7th edition. Same with the world map, because, you know, some people don't know where certain countries or cities are, so you can just flip over the map and say, oh, hey, this city's right here. This is where you guys learned about something going on or something like that. And then they have an idea of where that is. Size comparison chart. This came with the original version. I think this is cool to give you an idea of how big things are compared to a human, but I don't really see a point in this because you can kind of get an idea based on the creature's size stat compared to a human, where if at the limit of human possibility is a 100 in 7th edition, or a 20 in this normal early edition, then just compare the size and you kind of get an idea. But it is cool to kind of see this, like, oh, here's a little human right here, there's a formless spawn, or there's a flying polyp, that sort of thing, or there's a big giant gug compared to a little human right there. So that's pretty cool. Maybe not the most useful, but it's pretty cool to have since it came to the original version. Now this, the little silhouette character cutouts. This came with the original version as well in the original box set. You're supposed to cut them out and use them as, well, sort of like minis, I guess. You want to put them in a little stand, and then, oh, this is me, and then, oh, here's the flying polyp attacking you guys. So that's pretty fun, especially as a little bit of history for the original version about this has how people might have played back then with using these. They didn't have minis. A lot of people probably didn't. So that's pretty cool to have there. I wouldn't cut these out and use them. I would just keep these as a little cool collectible with the set. And the thing I was very happy to see in here is the whole rest of this is just handouts. Which is always great to see. Like, you normally, like in a book, in a scenario book, it'll be, oh, here's handout number 1 for this scenario, etc., etc. And the only way to get the handouts, if you want to cut them out and give them to your players, is to have the PDF version, print it out and cut them out, because even in the book, if they put them all in the back, you're not going to be ripping pages out of your book to just hand them to your players. No one's going to do that. So you either got to scan it and then print it out, or have the PDF version as well. So I think it's great that they give you this huge honkin' stack of handouts. It has every single handout for every scenario you get in the box set, which is just great. So if you're going to play any of these, your work's cut out for you right there. Literally. You don't have to print anything. It's all right here to use. And I think that's great. I love this edition. I have to thank Chaosium for doing that. It makes anyone who is going to run any of these have such an easier time with it. And speaking of PDFs, I should also mention that if you buy this, you will also get the PDF version through Chaosium's website, which is where you can buy this, of course. And I think that's an awesome thing to do as well, because a lot of people these days, they're playing online. My group has to play online because we're so far apart from each other. So I love that. So if I am going to run any of these, I have access to all the PDFs. So if I need to just quickly look up something and I don't have the book next to me, I can do that. I can just give them the handouts right from the PDF as well. I can just, I don't know, use the snipping tool or something, cut it out, send it to them. There you go. And last but not least, the dice. So this is kind of similar to the starter edition for 7th edition Call of Cthulhu. They're just in a little bag. They're put at the top. So they could have made the box a little shorter if they had made it a bit thicker, but they decided to just put them at the top. I understand that. And it's a bit unfortunate they didn't give you like a little tube or something to put them in, and they're just in this long plastic bag. But these dice are pretty cool. They're not the best quality. They're pretty nice plastic dice though. And they have this really nice red and like black spotted color to them with gold numbers, which I think is really cool. They said that there's anniversary edition dice, so that's really nice. They feel nice to roll. They're really cool. I'm sure you might have better dice you want to use, but no one's gonna say no to some more dice to give to people if they need some. And these are really cool. A little nice bonus to have to this. And I also have to mention that they did include a D12, which, if you didn't know, Call of Cthulhu actually doesn't use D12s anywhere at all. I imagine that they just included the D12 here because people might want to use this dice set to play other games that do use D12s. The starter set for 7th edition doesn't actually come with the D12, so they are aware of that. But this does come with a D12, so if you want to use this to play Dungeons & Dragons or Pathfinder or something, there you go. You have a D12 at least, so you can use this dice set, which I think is really nice. So overall, this box set is really nice. It is a bit expensive for the deluxe version, but I think for what you're getting, it's very nice that you get to have physical, really nice quality versions of all of this stuff that came with the first box set of Call of Cthulhu and some early supplements to it as well. I think that's great. If you just want the stuff that came in the original box set, it's only $40, and I think that is so worth it for this really cool collectible item. You're still going to get the really nice box. It's going to be a little bit thinner than this. And you're still going to get the dice, I believe. You get the cutouts, you get the size comparison, you get the rule booklet, you get that 20s companion guide, you get all that stuff. The only things you don't get are those 5 supplement booklets. So if you really want those 5 supplement booklets and a really nice physical printing, I would definitely get the deluxe version of it like I did, which is $120. You do get the PDFs, as I said, which is also really nice. So remember, deluxe edition also comes with 2nd Cthulhu companion, Shells of Cthulhu, 1st companion, the Asylum and Other Tales, and the entire Yog-Sothoth campaign. So if you're interested in any of that, go check it out on the Chaosium website. I believe it's a limited thing. I don't know how many more they have left, but I only got mine about a week and a half ago is when I ordered it. It came in about a week ago, and it wasn't sold out. So if you really want this, I would try to get it sooner rather than later. I don't know how many they have. It doesn't say on the website. So definitely pick it up if you're interested. This is a really nice collectible, and I gotta thank Chaosium for doing something like this. This is so fun for the anniversary of Call of Cthulhu. So thank you for joining me. I hope you had some fun looking at this. I hope you found this interesting and maybe want to pick it up for yourself. And if you want to check out Call of Cthulhu, I can't recommend it enough. So thank you for joining me here for checking out the classic edition for the 40th anniversary of Call of Cthulhu. And I'll see you next time. This is Resident Weevil.